Don't you hate it when your stuff gets stolen? I know I do. And if you don't hate that, then probably something wrong with you, man.
You're a weird guy.
Why am I starting off the video like this? Well, unfortunately, one of my friends recently had their gear stolen out of the back of their car. It was basically their entire live rig and they're completely out. So today, with the help of my friends over at Sweetwater, Rev, and Master Effects, we're gonna try to make them whole again. Let's do it! Alright guys, hope you're doing great out there today. If this is your first time here at my channel, my name is Kyle. What I do is I take all sorts of awesome high gain related guitar equipment, I record it with a simple setup, and I give you the unprocessed audio on your end. So if you're into East End or thrash riffs, drop C hardcore riffs, and dudes with an average amount of leg hair, you're in the right place. Consider hitting the like button, subscribing on the way out, so you don't miss any more of my stuff. Thanks! Alright guys, so, Thieves. Since I have started this YouTube channel, I have seen more people comment on my videos about having whatever particular piece of gear that I am reviewing in the video stolen at one point or another throughout their life, and I think that sucks. There is nothing worse than working your ass off and scrounging up every last penny you can just to be able to buy whatever pedal, whatever amp that you need for your live rig, just for some Richard Cranium to steal it. And if you're the guy doing the stealing, just like, don't. And unfortunately, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, my homie Anthony was bitten by that snake recently. Now, not only is Anthony a friend and somebody who has supported my channel from the very, very beginning, but he's also the guitarist in one of my favorite bands, God's Hate. I should have put my finger out for that. I can't even count, who am I kidding? Anthony's always been super cool to me, and honestly, when he reached out right around the time the channel started and told me that he dug the content, that meant a lot for me as somebody who has been in the hardcore scene for a long time, to have somebody from a band that I love reached out to support what I was doing. So I figure the least that I can do is help the man in a time of need. Not only is Anthony the guitarist of God's Hate though, but he has his own YouTube channel too, so I'm gonna link to that, and I would really appreciate it if you guys go and give him a follow. His YouTube channel is called The Tone Zone, and not only does he demo gear, but he's also recently done an interview with Sean, the hell's his name? But he also recently did an interview with Sean Martin of Hatebreed and Twitching Tongues, which was sick. Yeah, check it out, do yourself a favor, and it would mean a lot to me if you guys would support him as well. So with that being said, let's go over the gear that he got stolen, and I'm gonna show you the stuff that I was able to piece together, again, with the help of my friends at Sweetwater, Rev, and Master Effects in order to try and recreate his rig the best that I possibly could considering the circumstances. So he actually posted a picture of the gear that was stolen when this happened, and I screen capped that picture so that I could kind of use that as a guide to rebuilding his rig. So on his pedal board, he's got a Boss TU3, he's got a Boss NS2, he has an MXR 6-band EQ, and then he's got a couple of pedals from Michael Klein. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Michael Klein, but he makes some really cool stuff. I've heard people rave about a lot of his pedals, and he seems to support a lot of the guys in the metal and the hardcore community. Sammy from Goat Whore has a signature boost with him called the Dybbuk. I'm not sure the pronunciation. I'm not smart, but I've heard a lot of people say really good things about that pedal, and in talking to Anthony after this happened, he actually mentioned that Michael had already made and sent out some replacement pedals of the stuff that was on his board for free. So all I wanted to do there was point that out and give a shout to Michael Klein. I think that is a super, super classy move. So all of those pedals are resting upon a Pedal Train Nano Plus pedal board, and then the piece of the rig that is gonna be the hardest thing to replace is the Marshall Valve State VS100. Anthony seems to get into the death metal tones more than anything, so of course he's got a VS100 that is like the death metal classic. If you walk into somebody's house and they have that amplifier, you already know that they're a death metal dude, and they probably don't follow up on their personal hygiene whatsoever. So because that amplifier is out of production and there are a couple of other items on here that weren't in stock at Sweetwater, I actually tried to recreate this as best I could, and I also tried to upgrade them where I could. So we're gonna go over the stuff that I got for the rig real quick, we're gonna put it together, and then we're gonna do a little video call with Anthony, and we're gonna surprise him by showing him the rig and telling him that it is his. And honestly, if I could get away with not making a video and just giving him the stuff, I would do that. I'm not trying to call any sort of attention to myself for doing this, but it is necessary in order for me to showcase the items and the brands that donated to this. So let's start off with the foundation of this whole rig here, and that is the pedal board. We went ahead and we upgraded Anthony to a mono rail pedal board with the Stealth bag. This is quite a bit larger than the pedal board that he had before, but there's a reason for that, and we'll get to it here in a little bit. But yeah, the monorail pedal board is honestly a super stout, super nice pedal board, and this stealth bag is really, really beefy. So I wanted to upgrade Anthony to something that's like a lifelong piece of gear. And also, because of the ergonomics of the pedal board, you can easily use this as a weapon. Bet you didn't know that. So the very first pedal on the pedal board is the tuner, and we also upgraded Anthony there too. The TU2 is a good solid tuner, but man, nothing beats the Peterson Strobo Stomp. This is literally the best tuner that you can get. And I know that like dudes who play death metal don't really care about being in tune, so hopefully he's psyched on that. Next up on the noise gate, this one actually comes from my friends over at Rev, and that is the G8 gate pedal. Again, there's nothing wrong with the Boss NS2 noise suppressor. That is a workhorse pedal. Works great for what it does, but I've always found that that thing sucks a little bit of the top end out of your tone. The Rev G8 does a really, really good job at retaining that top end clarity, and also, in my opinion, has a much more accurate gate inside of it. It's also capable of the 4-cable method, so if you're smart enough to figure out how to wire it, you can utilize that to keep the noise down on both your pedals and on your amplifier. And as far as mass-produced gates go, I personally think that this is the best one on the market. For the next pedal, this is where we had to make a little bit of a sacrifice because unfortunately Sweetwater was out of the MXR 6-band EQ, so this can just be a placeholder, but this is the Behringer 7-band graphic EQ. But honestly, this thing does the job, and as long as you're not stomping on it, it'll last. I've had mine for years, and I use it in all sorts of videos and stuff. It's honestly one of my favorite pedals, and also it comes with a picture of this guy.
Oh yeah.
Dollar store slash. All right, so the next two items is where we deviate heavily from what Anthony had, because unfortunately the VS100 is no longer in production, and finding one of those these days is kind of tough. So we actually went with a more modern and more compact version of that. And the first piece is from the homies over at Master Effects. This is the Martyr pedal, and what this essentially is the VS100 preamp in a pedal. I demoed this pedal a couple years ago on my channel, so as soon as I saw that that was the amp that was stolen, I reached out to Master Effects because I'm like, this pedal is rad. It definitely does the VS100 thing, and I honestly can't thank Master Effects enough for getting one of these out super quick in order to make this happen. But this is just a pedal. This is not an amp. So how are we gonna power this thing? With my personal favorite pedal power amp, the Boss, this isn't a Boss, what the hell am I talking? I don't even know what I'm saying. The Blackstar Amped 1 pedal power amp. Now, I have been singing the praises of this unit ever since they sent me one about a year ago. I use it in all sorts of pedal demos and stuff like that, and as far as I'm concerned, this is the best portable power amp for preamp pedals and stuff like that because of the voicing, the EQ options, and everything that is built into this. This also has awesome options as far as MIDI capability if you need that, if you're some sort of nerd that plays progressive metal and uses all sorts of effects pedals and weak shit like that. It also has two 9-volt outs, so you can power those stupid pedals. You can step it from 100 watts all the way down to 1 watt. It's got front of house capabilities with built-in impulse responses. It has an effects loop, and this does a true 100 watts no matter what ohm rating your cab is. Unlike some of the other pedals out there which only put out like 75 watts at 16 ohm, this will put 100 watts out at 16 ohm or 4 ohm. So technically, this is his amp. So hopefully we can get a sick sound out of this setup. There are a couple last pieces to this puzzle. For the power supply, we've got the Mono. I don't actually know if it's any sort of series name or not. I'm really professional if you guys can't tell. People pay me to do this. It is the Mono power supply.
Medium.
And this can also be used as a weapon. You can even go akimbo if you want. And then last but certainly not least, we have a variety pack of Ernie Ball patch cables. I have used these patch cables ever since I got them at Sweetwater when I went out there for rig builders because I love the form factor, and in these variety packs, they give you different lengths and everything, so you have the right lengths for what you need. And they're just a really solid quality patch cable. So with all of our pieces of the gear puzzle here, we are actually gonna sit down and we're gonna start putting this bad boy together. Then we're gonna get some sound samples out of it. I'm super excited to do this, honestly. I hope you guys are too. Let's do it. All right, guys, so now that we have Anthony's pedal board rig all put together, it's time for some riffs. So in order to demonstrate this pedal board rig, we are going through my 1999 Mesa traditional 4x12 cab SM57 on the stock vintage 30s. I have a Grisenia Guitars Nero Empress Standard, and we are tuned down to drop C, because drop C is what hardcore guitarists crave. And I think it's only right that we christen this new rig with a Hatebreed riff. It's also only right that we're slightly out of tune. All right, so as you can hear, everything is working properly, and that was the first try for me putting this together, so that doesn't normally happen. My brain is way too ADD to focus on building a pedal board from front to back most times, and I usually fuck something up along the way. So the way that we have this thing currently hooked up is we've got the Peterson Strobostomp HD tuner out front going into the Rev G8 gate. But instead of sending the rest of the signal directly through the pedals and then into the amped one, we actually have the graphic equalizer and the Martyr preamp pedal in the loop of the Rev G8, so that when we're not playing, it is 100% completely silent. Now, it is loud in the room right now, probably not quite gig volume, but still an appreciable volume. And when I'm not playing, there is absolutely zero noise. You would never ever even know that this thing is on. And that's because when you have your boost and your preamp pedals in the loop of a 4-cable method gate, everything that is in the loop is being completely silenced by the gate until you trigger the gate to open with your guitar. And that is why 4-cable method gates are awesome. But of course, if you wanted this to act like a traditional gate, all you would have to do is put it out in front and not utilize the loop on the gate at all. So if you still wanted to be able to create some feedback and stuff for interludes or other types of artsy bullshit that my brain just can't quite comprehend, you can easily do that with the Rev G8. And also on top of that, I'm not sure how Anthony used the graphic equalizer in his setup, but I'm currently using it as a boost since we don't have any other overdrives on this board, since he already has the overdrives with him. So how we are doing that is we are boosting a level of this EQ 700 by Behringer, which is basically a Boss GEQ7 ripoff, giving us a ton more output. But when you boost the output with an EQ pedal, you usually need to compensate by rolling back some of the low end, or else it's gonna sound big and fat and farty. It's essentially gonna sound how I feel after crushing 20 wings by myself and crying in the corner. And then we have a very slight 1.6K mid boost in order to give it a little bit of that like tube screamery type of wider mid that you're gonna get from, you know, most overdrives. And all of this is going into the Master Effects Martyr pedal, which is again a VS100 preamp style pedal. I have it dialed as you see here on the screen, but really what makes the most difference on this pedal, besides the treble, which I found the treble is very sensitive, is that contour control. Sound like I'm choking a chicken. All right, so that is the preamp pedal. Now finally, all of this is running into our Blackstar Amped One pedal-sized power amp. This thing puts out 100 watts at any impedance. It's not like some of the other pedal-sized power amps out there where if you put it into a 16 ohm cabinet, you're only getting a quarter of the power. This thing puts out 100 watts at any ohm rating, so that's one of the reasons that I love it. But as you can see here, we've got all sorts of voicing options. We've got a gain control on the front end, so if your input on from your preamp pedal is not all that loud, you can boost it using the gain control on here. We've got multiple different wattage settings, so if you want to play this by yourself because you're a fucking loser with no friends, you can click that power setting down and do that all day long. You don't need any friends at all, but you should probably get some. In the middle here, we've got bass, middle, and treble controls. These are all very, very sensitive, and they actually go a long way in dialing in the voicing of whatever pedals that you're putting into it. And I just really like how this thing sounds on the 6L6 response setting. It gives you a little bit more high-end sizzle, but you can switch that setting to something else like EL34, and it'll pretty drastically change the voicing and the feel of the pedal. So you're gonna get a lot of options to really find what matches best with whatever preamp pedal that you're putting into it. And that's not to mention all the other functionality that the Amped One brings. It's got a dedicated effects loop built into it. It has a headphone out. It has an XLR out, so you can send it to front of house with different types of cab emulations. Wow, I cannot talk at all. It has the ability to be controlled with a MIDI controller, so if you want to store different presets on here, you can actually create presets. So if you're running different pedals, or if you have a lead preset and a rhythm preset, you can store it. You can switch through them using the foot switch, or you can switch through them using a MIDI controller. And then last but not least, if you're a total loser, there's reverb. So this pedal really does do it all, and those are a lot of the reasons why I really, really like it. But the primary reason that I like it is it just sounds really good with a lot of the pedals that I use. It sounds a little bit more natural. So with all that being said, this wouldn't be a belligerent amateur video if I didn't rip an E standard thrash riff. So let's do one of those real quick. All right, so that is the pedal board rig, and now I think that it's finally time, because he's been waiting a little while, to reveal to Anthony that this rig is his. So let's do that.
Check 1, 2, I'm made of glue. All right, how do I look? Do I look good?
You look fucking fantastic, man. All right, guys, so on the show today, we have Anthony from God's Hate and Greenwich joining us, and he's gonna answer a couple of questions. What's going on, Anthony? How you doing, man? Looking tough as ever.
I'm chilling. I'm doing good. Uh-oh, did the audio already cut? Can you hear me?
We're good. We got that phantom power going.
Okay,
So,
okay.
all right, where do we leave off? I'm already lost.
With the first question would be fine.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. I asked you if you farted, but I don't think you heard it. So
I don't think I did not fart.
Okay, that's good. So, all right, yeah, man, I got a couple questions for you. The first question being, you recently lost your gear. Unfortunately, somebody actually broke into your car and took some stuff. So how's it going getting that stuff replaced?
Luckily I have a lot of good friends that, reached out and were like, hey, I got a tuner that you can use. I got a noise suppressor, a pedal board, stuff like that. And then actually a buddy Vince who played in a band called Dead Heat in Oxnard.
Yeah.
He was like, I have a valve state that you could have. And I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, dude, I have like a JMP, a JCM 800, like every Marshall. And I use this as like a door holder. And I'm like, I'll take it right now.
Yeah, I actually just got one myself, but I mean, I don't know, man. The fact that everybody was willing to pitch in and help you out like that, I think that kind of speaks to your character, you know?
Yeah, I didn't want to do like a GoFundMe or anything like that. I was just like, all right, let's just try to get this back. Or if anybody has like cables,
Yeah.
that'd be great. Because
Right.
I still need cables, but I think that's why I've been working so much just so I can like get everything. But slowly but surely we're coming back. And then Michael Klein was nice enough to just straight up replace all of them, which is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, that was super sick. I actually talked to him briefly after that, and he mentioned it, and I thought that was really, really cool. So I actually lured you here under false pretenses. This actually isn't an interview. And because I take my sweet time to do everything, you were actually like one of the first dudes that supported my channel, like from a band that I liked and respected, like way back when I started this stuff. So,
Yeah.
you know, you and I have been cool pretty much ever since I started the channel, and I really appreciate that. So, I actually got some help from Rev amplification, I got some help from Master Effects pedals, and I got some help from Sweetwater. And we actually
What are you doing over here?
we got you a whole rig, my guy.
Oh my freaking God. I did not know anything about this.
Yeah. Why do you think
You
I was
are,
asking so many questions?
I don't know.
know.
I'm like, oh, this is gonna be cool. Just talking with Kyle. This is
Yeah.
sick. I like doing this. Are you kidding me?
So check this out, man. So
Are
we
you
got
fucking for real?
I tried to do the best that I could because the valve state, obviously nobody makes the valve state anymore. So I tried to essentially replace your whole rig, but I got it all on a pedal board. So we got a Stroboson or a Stroboson tuner. We got the Peterson Strobo Stomp. This is like, I know you had a Boss tuner, but I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
these tuners are just way better. Way, way
I
better.
mean,
Um,
holy shit.
yeah, bro. We got you a nice mono pedal board. Obviously, we got the mono power supply in the back. Rev G8 gate. The only thing that I had to kind of skimp on was the EQ pedal because they didn't have a
That's
6-band EQ. So
that's fine because
yeah.
I got, but this is fucking crazy. Can I curse on this?
Oh, dude, do it up.
This is fucking crazy. Are you serious?
Yeah, man. Yeah, when I told these guys, they all immediately were like, "Yep, we're in. We'll pitch in whatever you need." So, yeah. And then
What is that amp thing? Oh my God, I'm asking, you're like going over everything and I'm already like,
yeah.
what is happening? Holy shit.
Because we can't get the valve state because Marshall doesn't make it anymore because they don't make good products anymore. We've got the Master Effects Martyr pedal, and what
Yeah.
this is supposed to be a recreation
The preamp,
of the
right?
S100
Yeah.
preamp, yeah. And
Oh
then
my
the
God.
Blackstar Amped One. This is essentially just a 100-watt power amp. And it gives you different like voicings and responses. Out of all the ones that I've used like the Duncan Power Stage and the Quilter I recently got. The Quilter's really, really cool. I just think that this one sounds the best with whatever I use it with. So your whole rig is now on a pedal board that fits inside of this bag. So
I cannot believe this is real. Are you
like I said,
serious?
you're a super solid dude. You've been nothing but cool to me since I started the channel, and I appreciate the support and everything. So yeah, I know you seem like a good guy, and when your stuff got stolen, I felt really bad. So I was like, all right, let's try to make something happen so we can make you whole again. So and cables, since I forgot to ask Sweetwater about cables, and I actually said that I had some, I dug some cables out. So we got Ernie Ball provided the patch cables, but I got some other cables that I can get you. Should be ready to roll, man.
I thought we were gonna just straight up talk about gear.
I mean, we can still do that, but
I was so excited to be like, yeah, I love this, this, and this. And then you just throw this curveball.
this is probably a little better, right?
I mean, yeah, that's crazy. I can't thank you enough. Holy
Yeah, man.
shit.
Thanks Sweetwater, thank Master Effects. They all donated this stuff, so
I gotta talk to Sweetwater. I gotta send him a handwritten note. I gotta
Absolutely.
call CEO, the COO.
I'll see if I can get his number for you.
I'll just be like, thank you. He'll be like, who the hell is this?
Who are you? Leave me alone.
How did you get my number? This is fucking crazy. I don't know how to feel. I'm flabbergasted. You make a video, we'll make a documentary, we'll make a Martin Scorsese film. I don't care. This is absolutely insane. Insane.
Yeah,
this is crazy. You fucking kidding me?
I gotta film a little bit of a playthrough with the rig. I gotta break it in for you a little bit, and then I'll shoot it out to you, and this will be yours.
Holy crap! I've cursed so much. You're crazy, man.
I love gear.
I love gear too. I just this shit blows my mind. Damn, dude, this is awesome. Holy fuck. Yeah. I'm pumped. I gotta actually work. I've been feeling like shit all day, but I gotta actually work and go do some errands and stuff. But this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, hopefully I put a little pep in your step.
You did. I'm like awake now. Thank you so much, man. Holy shit.
Of course. Yeah, no problem, dude. Seriously. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
All right. Did you hear that? Yes. What? What? What's happening?